"You'll never make it without me," my ex-wife laughed as she took half of my business in the divorce. "Just a matter of time before you fail," her lawyer smirked. I said nothing, just walked away. 6 months later, my phone wouldn't stop ringing with her desperate calls. I, a 34-year-old man, had started my custom furniture business long before I met my ex-wife. After apprenticing with a master craftsman for 7 years, I built enough of a reputation to rent a small workshop and start creating pieces under my own name. The business wasn't huge, but it was profitable and growing steadily. 5 years later, I met her. She had a marketing degree and plenty of ideas about how to scale my humble operation. After dating for a while, she convinced me to let her handle the business side while I focused on craftsmanship. When we married a year later, I added her name to the business. I'll admit, things grew under her management. She brought in wealthy clients through her country club connections, and our revenue increased. For 3 years, she handled client communications while I focused on creating. Then, I discovered she'd been sleeping with one of our richest clients for months. I found out when she left her tablet at home while rushing to an emergency client meeting. A message popped up from him, with explicit details about their afternoon together and plans for their next meetup. When confronted, she didn't even try to deny it. "He can give me what you can't," she said coldly. A real lifestyle, not just sawdust and mortgage payments. The divorce was brutal. She played the system perfectly, convincing the judge she built our client base and was essential to the business's success. The truth was, clients came to us for my craftsmanship, but she made herself their primary contact. The judge awarded her 50% ownership of my business. My attorney advised settling rather than fighting. "She's positioned herself as the client relationship manager," he said. "Fighting will drain your resources with uncertain results." As she walked out of the courtroom with her lawyer, both smirking, she couldn't resist a parting shot. "You'll never make it without me." Her lawyer nodded, adding, "Just a matter of time before you fail." I said nothing, just walked away. A week later, she called a business meeting at her new boyfriend's penthouse. Yes, the same client she'd been sleeping with. She laid out her vision. I would continue making furniture while she handled all client communications. We'd split profits after she took a management fee. She also informed me I'd need to accommodate rush orders for her prior clients, regardless of my schedule. Her boyfriend watched from across the room, smirking, as she explained how things would work. I recognized him immediately. He'd commissioned a custom dining table and always found excuses to visit the workshop while I was working on it. "I'll have my attorney review any new policies," I said quietly. Her face hardened. "Don't make this difficult. You need me. Remember, without my client relationships, you're just a guy with tools in a garage." That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to fight her in court, I was going to outsmart her. First, I personally called every client we'd ever had. I didn't badmouth her or mention the divorce. I simply said I was checking in on their satisfaction with past projects and wanted to maintain a direct relationship with them for any future work. Most appreciated the personal touch. Next, I consulted my attorney about opening a new business. "She could claim it's just a continuation of the existing one," he warned. "You need to make it distinctly different," he said. "What if you specialized in restoration rather than new pieces?" "That could work, a different service offering, a different client base. Just be careful about directly soliciting current clients to switch." I launched a website for my new restoration business that weekend. I'd always loved bringing old furniture back to life, but it had been a small part of our original work. I also took a part-time teaching position at a community college, which connected me with a network of talented woodworking students. Meanwhile, my ex-wife was busy managing our original business. She hired a recent design school graduate with minimal experience to replace me, rebranded with a fancy new name, raised prices significantly, and rented an expensive showroom. Her boyfriend invested heavily in the expansion. The call started about 2 months later. First, she demanded I train her new craftsmen. When I refused, she complained about quality issues, then came threats of legal action. When I remained uninvolved, she accused me of deliberately sabotaging the business. "I'm not involved in your business decisions," I replied calmly. "Our business," she corrected. "Your name is still on it, so clients expect your quality." "Then perhaps you shouldn't have pushed me out," I said. Problems mounted quickly. Her craftsmen couldn't match my quality, clients were complaining about defects, and they'd expanded too quickly without the production capacity to fulfill orders. My sister, who shared some social connections with my ex, reported that their reputation was already suffering. "She's telling everyone you're being difficult and sabotaging the business," my sister told me. "But her friends have seen the new pieces, they know it's not the same quality." My restoration business was growing steadily. I partnered with local antique shops, worked with historical societies, and built a reputation for quality and authenticity. I hired some of my best students part-time. What I was doing was similar enough to showcase my skills but different enough to constitute a separate business. 4 months after the divorce, my ex's mother texted me. We'd always had a good relationship, and she was disappointed in her daughter's behavior. "She's running the business into the ground," she said. 3 negative reviews this month, and they're having cash flow problems. Thought you should know. Then something unexpected happened. Clients who'd ordered from my ex-wife's business started coming to me to fix their poorly made furniture. One such client, a retired judge, became particularly valuable after I restored his defective bookcase. He recommended me to several colleagues. I told them the whole story, and he admitted that women's business practices are shameful. 5 months post-divorce, my ex-wife's lawyer called mine. My client would like to discuss. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.